बात जी नमस्कार।
सर गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
आप सुन सकते हैं मेरी आवाज? मैंने कहा पहले ऑडियो टेस्ट करने के लिए।
यस सर यस
जी राघव जी कैसे हैं?
सर ऑल वेल।
यू हियर मी?
यस सर
ओके ओके। ठीक है, आई विल बी ऑन म्यूट। जब आप शुरू करेंगे तो मैं आ जाऊंगा। आई एम कनेक्टेड।
राइट सर।
My mother used to tell me.
Oh, I'm there. Okay.
My mother used to tell me.
Sir, sir. Can you see?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just going off the video for some time. We'll get back.
Sure, sir. No problem.
Mr. Ghosh, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
Good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. Yes, sir.
Raghav, sir, some audio issue is there. Yeah. Now it's sorted out. Yeah. Some audio issue. Raghav, sir. Yeah, no, it's okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mittal. Good afternoon, Mr. Ghosh.
Good
Hi,
afternoon,
Sangeeta.
sir.
Good to see you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sangeeta, ma'am. Welcome.
Hi, Prabhat. Now you can hear me, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. Welcome, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Hi, Commodore AJ. Good to see you.
Hi, Sangeeta. Good to see you. Long time.
So nice to see you.
Are you also getting an echo? I'm getting an echo in the audio.
Yes. Raghav, sir, there is some issue, I suppose. In audio, echo is coming on.
Let me just
I
check.
hope nobody's got two. It happens if two gadgets are on at the same time.
Yeah.
It's 15 hours.
Namaskar. Hello and welcome to the Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum 2021 on this epochal day of 9/11 2021. And we have really the pleasure and privilege to have such a esteemed galaxy of luminaries joining us this afternoon.
locally. Okay. So there's some echo issues, Prabhat. Hello.
I think other than the speaker, if everybody else switches off their mic, that will be better.
Maybe I'm just trying where it's coming from.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Just a moment.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jai Hind.
You just mute once. Yeah. Prabhat sir, is there a mute? Is there an echo now?
No, no, it's fine, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I think there was, I've just muted all the audience right away. And so hello and welcome to Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum 2021. On this very epochal day, a turmoil-ridden day across around 128 years to the very least. The first 9/11 in the recorded history, which we all cherish and I would say commemorated, was the 9/11 1893, the historic day on which Swami Vivekananda rose to the platform and he gave that word famous speech, the response to the welcome on that 9/11 1893 at Chicago on the World Parliament of Religions. And 108 years later on, the world got stunned, the world got furiated by 9/11 2001. And we all know the devastation and the whole geostrategic sphere was all over changed overnight after that 9/11. And today we are yet standing on yet another 9/11. Where there was to be a swearing to be done on this very day, but then there were some levers which were pulled by President Biden and others, than the swearing in of the Taliban militia, it got annulled. So this 9/11 across 128 years is quite an era of turmoil. The message of Swami Vivekananda, we would commemorate this day with the positive note of it all. The historic speech in just 2 minutes and 4 minutes. I will just play that sound for all of us to commemorate the 9/11, the message of sthirta, the message of stability, the message of civilizational wisdom of India. So we will just hear that. I will just play that video.
Distinguished delegates to the World's Parliament of Religions, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the afternoon session of the opening day today, the 11th of September, 1893. We now introduce you to Swami Vivekananda from India and request him to address us. Swami Vivekananda.
Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the Mother of Religions. And I thank you in the name of the millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers on this platform who, referring to the delegates from the Orient, have told you that these men from far-off nations may well claim the honor of faring to different lands the idea of toleration. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and all nations of the earth. I am proud to tell you that we have gathered in our bosom the purest remnant of the Israelites who came to southern India and took refuge with us in the very year in which their holy temple was shattered to pieces by Roman tyranny. I am proud to belong to the religion which has sheltered and is still fostering the remnant of the grand Zoroastrian nation. I will quote to you, brethren, a few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest boyhood, which is every day repeated by millions of human beings. As the different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to thee. The present convention, which is one of the most august assemblies ever held, is in itself a vindication, a declaration to the world of the wonderful doctrine preached in the Gita. Whosoever comes to me, through whatsoever form, I reach him. All men are struggling through paths which in the end lead to me. Sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendant, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. They have filled the earth with violence, drenched it often and often with human blood, destroyed civilization, and sent whole nations to despair. Had it not been for these horrible demons, human society would be far more advanced than it is now. But their time is come, and I fervently hope that the bell that tolled this morning in honor of this convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, of all persecutions with the sword or with the pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between persons wending their way to the same goal.
So this was Swami Vivekananda's historic address on 9/11/1893. And keeping that into perspective, so these are the three 9/11 we are commemorating, the epochal ones across centuries, across the timelines, 9/11/1893, 9/11 2001, and obviously 9/11 2021. And today is this congregation where we are commemorating one of the very eminent Indians who really paved the path, who really played a key contribution towards the propelling the frontiers of a global power India, Mr Manohar Parrikar ji. We would also like to hear the views and expressions of all our eminent luminaries this afternoon, that how India can play a lead role in establishing global sthirta, the stability, the word from VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, towards sthirta, because this happens to be the civilizational message of Bharat for centuries, for millenniums altogether. And to start the proceedings of this forum formally, we would first and foremost like to invite and commemorate and really cheerlead Ambassador Vishnu Prakash sir, who has had the distinct honor of serving India's, I would say India's civilizational interest, both on the eastern frontier of the globe and the western frontiers, which had two distinctive neighbors, South Korea, flanked by a neighbor which is one of the most, I would say, organized terrorist state over there, and Canada, flanked by one of the most advanced and liberal democracies of the world. So without further ado, I would request Ambassador Vishnu Prakash ji sir to address the forum and receive this token of appreciation from all our behalf, because this is a community spirit over here. We would like to really present this Mr Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of Global Power India 2021 to Ambassador Vishnu Prakash sir. for his 35 years of impeccable diplomatic service, whereby he stewarded India's strategic interest, as I said, that on the two distinctive geostrategic locales of East South Korea and West Canada, by being at the helm of affairs at the then diplomatic establishment. So with these words, I will request Sir Vishnu Prakash sir to please address and give his inaugural address, sir. So you have to unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. A very good afternoon. Namaste, and thank you very much for the gracious introduction. I am very grateful for the invite to participate in the Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum 2021. I can see from some of the best minds that are present today that this is going to be a very important forum. And you are so right that on the one hand, in 1893, there was the son of India, great son of India, who delivered the message of peace. And 108 years later, a ghastly terror attack happened which changed the world forever. 20 years have passed. Where do we stand? I consider 9/11 2001 as a second Pearl Harbor moment for the US, with one very big difference. In 1941, the US, after the 1941, the US prevailed and became a numero uno in the world. After 9/11 2001, Taliban prevailed, the terrorists prevailed. And today, there is a geopolitical shift in a way. There are questions being asked about how the radical Islamic forces can be tackled. Can US provide the leadership? There are lots of questions, but what is even more worrisome is that overnight, a terror group has become kosher enough to do business with. And what kind of a government have they put together? The who's who from the terror world, those who have been designated as international terrorists by the UN or by the US, are literally cocking a snook at the world and saying, look, this is what we are, take it or leave it. And the political expediency that has been displayed, principles, pledges, human rights, especially rights of women, children, faith in democracy, have all been cast aside as unwarranted distractions. And that is the number one reality of geopolitics. Nothing succeeds like success. And that is something that we need to understand very clearly. If we just see how the Afghans have been dealt with, there is this fact of British Marine, one Pen Farthing, who took dozens of dogs and pets out of Afghanistan, leaving behind Afghans. So he preferred animals over human beings. I've got nothing against animals, but I have more empathy with the humans. So they did it because they could, and Afghanistan being a poor country. So that is something that we need to understand and make sure that we are brave, we are strong, we take care of our defenses, because nobody will come to our assistance. There is only one country which will, and that is India. We are in a difficult juncture. We are in a complicated geography, and China poses to us the biggest threat to our security and politics since independence. It's a formidable adversary which looks down upon India and is bent on creating a China-centric world order where it wants to have India at a subordinate position. Pakistan will continue to self-destruct, but try to compete with India and continue with the proxy war. So that is the kind of I don't have time to get into more details, but that is the kind of environment that we are in. And there are only three things that can make us robust, strong, capable of taking care of ourselves, walking tall on the international stage. And those three things are economic development, economic development, and economic development. The rest is a matter of detail. That is something that we need to focus, and that is how we can walk tall on the international stage. I would wish your conclave all success, and once again, thank you very much for the gracious invitation.
Thanks a lot, sir, for very, I would say, profound words. And sir said the bottom line lies in economic development alone. And thanks a lot, sir, for accepting this token tribute from this August forum where all these distinctive luminaries are present over there. So this was the initial address that how India can really lead and provide sthirta, stability to the global world order, which is replete with VUCA over here. We move forward. We received a very gracious comment from Commodore Anil Jaisingh sir, who said that Shri Manohar Parrikar ji, in his brief stint as defense minister, he left a distinctive stamp with his ability to grasp the imperatives of national security and willingness to listen to the stakeholders to improve matters. His departure from the ministry was indeed a loss to the government. It's this very aspect of the former defense minister of India who propelled the frontiers of the aspiration of a billion-plus nation to become a global power somewhere, that we are commemorating this August luminaries with a Prashasti in his name. And I would now request Commodore Anil Jaisingh sir to just come and receive this token of thanks, receive this token of appreciation from this August forum for his lifelong striving to bolster the cause of India. And he aspires that not just a naval power alone, but to become a maritime power, unleashing the power and potential of submarines. So I will request Commodore Anil Jaisingh sir to come and address the forum and accept this token tribute and tell us more about his interactions of the persona of Manohar Parrikar sir, in whose name we are presenting this Prashasti. So Commodore Anil Jaisingh sir, I will request sir to address the forum.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable. Good afternoon. I consider myself privileged amongst a galaxy of birds whom I know I have regard for. Occasion of meeting Sri Manohar and his nation building, which is always. We are also having another great son here, Swami. Mr. Parrikar and people in. I had the good fortune of interacting with him when he was defense minister. And each time he came, with insightful understanding, I think this is the hallmark of a leader. This opportunity to think India and come digital and with Bad Ghosh, specialized state affairs in India. You know, I'm telling in your respective efforts now, fresh ideas reflect the commitment of India to fulfill its Triptini. Words I'm quoting bottle of the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, the tricolor of Indian unfurled for the first time 70 years ago. India is on the cusp of a transformation as a young population. Ideas. Organizations such as yourselves are going to give you these ideas. Your agree is the COVID pandemic shown the resilience and inherent strength and its people, and has shown how this country has the capacity and the capability to challenge into an opportunity. In the post-COVID world, India is to play a much larger role than ever before. The country is facing numerous security challenges. Any country to grow, security of its the highest vulnerability that will be a word of the maritime domain, which I'm associated. While the seas unite them, there are no traditional borders at sea, and the oceans are known as the heritage of mankind. However, so only as long as all countries respect that. 90% of trade travels, and any disruption due to a tradition or traditional threat has a potential to disrupt the entire economy. Basically, saw a merchant ship we ever found in the Suez Canal. 2 years that the Suez Canal was blocked as a result, the global economy lost more than $3 billion. Hence, for India, whose 90% trade is seaborne and 8% of energy comes from sea, security of its maritime interests is paramount. Our armed forces are amongst the most respected in the world and have proved themselves time whenever they call upon definition. Also, the 50th of historic military December 1971. With less than 14 days, we liberated, which led to the Bangladesh in the east, decisively defeating its own borders. We established complete and dominance in the skies and the sea. It took 93,000 prisoners of war. This is unparalleled warfare, and more about it will be written, read, and I consider myself extremely fortunate and honored to have for 35 years in a military that is considered second. Once again, in conclusion, I to rethink India and Civic Affairs for your contribution to national name. And I'm most happy to contribute towards your goals if I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. And really, you have really propelled that frontier of setting up the aspiration that we have to really become a maritime power beyond naval power per se. So thanks a lot, sir, for really accepting this humble tribute from this August Forum. Moving forward, we would like
Raghav sir, sorry to interrupt you. Before proceeding, let us welcome Mr. Rajendra Bhatia, sir, from Bharat Forge. Welcome, sir, Rajendra, sir. Yeah, thank you. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we would like to honor from this August platform of Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum 2021, Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, sir, for bringing about the much needed technological advances in Indian artillery. Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, sir, is heading one of the institutes at IIT Madras. So one of the very positive frontiers that after the illustrious years in service in the army, he has moved on to academia. So this kind of backward forward movement, and this forum is an August forum whereby we have got ambassadors, we have got armed personnel, and we have also got academicians who are propelling the research frontiers for an Atmanirbhar Suraksha. We would be felicitating a host of them. So I would like to invite Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, sir, to receive this token tribute from this August platform and say a few words over here.
Can I make a request? Once the speaker starts his address, can the slide be removed? It will be easier. We can then
sure,
see the
sir.
speaker.
Maybe sir, the sequence, then the problem of sequencing, and we'll try perhaps, sir, once.
Anyway, up to you.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Sir. So, sir, Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, sir. So you have to unmute yourself, sir. Yeah.
At the outset, sincere thanks to Rethink India for calling me over to this little function and address the Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum of 2021. And I also thank you for giving me this honor. At the outset, I'd like to recall my association with Mr. Manohar Parrikar. It was for over nearly 3 years. First, when he was the Chief Minister in Goa, and I was area commander in Bombay. And thereafter, when he came as the defense minister, the Raksha Mantri, and I was the DG Artillery, we had a great interaction for 2 years. A lot could be done. A lot of advancement in artillery could be done. We could induct guns which were not inducted for over 3 decades into India. And what is significant is that these guns are almost, as far as the induction is concerned, is almost done. But for me personally, it was gratifying to see these guns deployed last year itself during a crisis in Eastern Ladakh. What he did was just not, a technological advancement, security affairs, and all that. I think as a Raksha Mantri, he contributed to the concept of India, security of India, and the advancement of India as a global power more than any Raksha Mantri I've seen, at least in the last phase of my service. When I say last phase of my service, the last decade and a half of my service. Right? And I held him in great respect. And his untimely demise was personally a loss to me. Having said that, I'd like to focus on where India is to go ahead. I'm of the firm opinion India is the third pole today in world affairs, the first 2 being USA and China. That is one, because of a country, with a rising country with 1.4 billion people cannot be stopped, come what may, and try as people might in future as things are evolving. The second thing, which is very significant, which I'd like to share with you, and is my conviction, is in the past 1 year, the world has changed. 2 events which have changed the world. One is the virus itself, which has impacted all our lives across. And of course, now what's happening in Afghanistan, which is going to change our geopolitical equation completely. We are going to face a situation which we have never faced before, right? People talk of rise of China, Pakistan demise and all that. Well, those things will happen, but that's part of a system which is changing. Now, in terms of the security and the sociological environment in which we live, India faces, so far faced a 2.5 front system, where we said China was one front and Pakistan was one, and terrorism and less than war situations were the third front, half a front. But I think now, hereafter, that formulation has to change. With Afghanistan evolving the way it is, with Pakistan supporting it and duly supported by China, you're seeing a new axis emerging in our environment, which is inimical to us. Right? It is in this context that we have to rethink our geostrategic environment. As much as it is inimical to us and our growth and our future, we also see the superpower called USA withdrawing from this area. Right? And so to expect that USA will come here and police this area to our advantage or benefit or to our requirement, I think is not there. So this new era is starting. And this new era, there's only one person, like Ambassador Vishnu Prakash just mentioned, there's only one person who can help India, that is India itself. And what can underpin this help is development, of which economics is a subset. Defense is a subset. Security is a subset. It is in this context that this entire story of Atmanirbhar Bharat assumes greater importance. Unless we can stand on our feet and do what we can do, we will not be able to do what we must do in future. But having said that, we've had 70 years of experience of standing on our own. At every point of time when India has faced the crisis, we have come out better. And I think we are facing a crisis of our own. The second wave, the way this geopolitical environment is coming about. And yet you see, India is able to come out of it on its own. It doesn't matter which government is in chair. It is the people of India who matter. And I think there's a huge change which is happening. And I'll end by saying that the change has to be driven by us. No one else is going to come and do it for us. And the faster we learn to stand on our own feet completely, the better we are off. In the end, I'd like to once again thank Rethink India and its organizers for having given me an opportunity to speak on this forum. And I wish you all the best in future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Entirely our pleasure and privilege. And sir has really given a message for all the youngsters, like it is the Atmanirbharta. We have to help ourselves, and this changing geostrategic climate, the implications of it, they really, the message of General Shankar has to be really brought across the academia per se, importantly. These are the geostrategical implications of Atmanirbharta. So very well put, sir. Thanks a lot for accepting this humble tribute from this August Forum. Thank you so much, sir. We move forward somehow. Professor Harish V. Pant was to join us. He got some medical emergency in the family, so sir could not come in. So I'm sorry for there is some technical issue in the projection of his image. We would like to honor him, present him the Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for being an incredible observer as well as a nuanced commentator of his Indian strategic affairs in all its splendor, and who is quoted and relied upon in the global strategic quarters. And as Sir General Shankar said, in the changing geostrategic frontiers, commentators and experts like him would be having a much more importance. And so I would request Prabhat sir to speak a few words about Sir Harish Pant as well, because in his absentia we are presenting him this honor. Prabhat sir.
Professor Hasvi Pant is a professor of international school in King's College London. Apart from that, he is in dual charge of this head strategic affairs studies at Observer Research Foundation. So I mean, for his unstinted this continuous watch, he keeps a close watch on all development across the world. So on different topics, he's a great commentator. He writes on different forums as well, different newspapers. Apart from our own strategic affairs India. So that's all. So we are really privileged to give an honor to him. So yes. Now moving forward.
Thank you, Prabhat sir. समुद्र की गहराइयों की बातें हमने की. We felicitated Commodore Anil Jai Singh sir. तो आकाश की ऊंचाइयों तक हम लोग आ रहे हैं. We have the great distinction and fortune to honor and felicitate Group Captain Anupam Banerjee sir, decorated Kargil war hero, and for his 3 decades of illustrious service in the Indian Air Force, spanning the versatile roles of being a fighter pilot to that of being the spokesperson and the public relations officers. So that's a kind of, I would say this is in itself a kind of an advertisement of the prolific vistas of career opportunities with Indian Air Force provides over there. We request Group Captain Anupam Banerjee sir to address the August Forum and accept this humble tribute from this forum. Group Captain Banerjee sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, it's indeed a great honor and privilege to be part of this August panel. I don't think I fit in here. However, I must thank Rethink India for considering my name for this and invite me to be a part of the Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum of 2021. Today's day, as you said, is a very, very important day. Strategically, because something very bad happened on this day 20 years back, and today is the 20th year. I personally can't forget this day because this particular day was the first birthday of my daughter. I can't forget this day. So along with destruction, for me, this day is a day of hope. And of course, this day is commemorated as the Chicago Address Day for the monk of India, who spread to the world the message of India, of that of universal brotherhood, for which our country is known. As far as my association with Indian Air Force is concerned, it was a journey of 30 years in which, as you said, I was very lucky to be a part of some of the historic events personally. Kargil War was one moment which taught us a lot of things, and I was part of this as a young flight lieutenant. So for me, the lessons from the Kargil War are very clear, that India needs to be vigilant, and nobody will be there to help you until unless as a country we stand up and we look after our own interest. And Kargil War also taught us, and I'm now talking as an Air Force pilot, that how technology and its infusion can really change the outcome of any conflict. Who can forget those bombing missions over Tiger Hill or Muntrodalo, those precision bombing attacks, and those were the, I will say, the first time that Indian Air Force actually used precision weapons, and thus ushering a different era of utilization of air power. And much later, when I was the spokesperson of Indian Air Force successfully carried out the Balakot strike, which was again utilized by such weapons which are technologically much superior. So one thing that came out from in the last 20 years is technology is something that will change the face of warfare. And in this, I want to tell that I have taken retirement, and now I am working with the Society of Indian Defense Manufacturers as a senior consultant there. And one thing that comes out with my last 6 months interaction is that India has to stand on its own. And my very senior officers who spoke before me, and I'm just going to reiterate that India needs to stand on its own feet. While there are challenges and there are opportunities too, India needs to grab all the, there is enormous amount of talent pool that is there in India, but we need to know what we know. Many a time the talent is available in pockets, and everybody needs to pitch in and pull in to ensure that we reach where we reach. And that reminds me that today I'm being honored in the name of a person. I had a very proud privilege to work as a very small part under him when he was the Raksha Mantri, as the public relation officer and spokesperson of Indian Air Force. And I still remember some of the interactions that I had the proud privilege to watch him from very close quarters. And he always used to say that and he was one Raksha Mantri in the current in the recent past, was responsible to see that the Indian armed forces start accepting some of the Indian products. And until and unless the forces start using our own products, there is no way this we can move forward, because countries will give you products and they will not give you what is the latest thing available. It is only possible when we develop our own product and we don't pay this recurring cost to the businessmen of the world to improve our system. So Mr. Sri Manohar Parrikar ji was one such person who always put India first. And I will not take any more time. There are many people who were waiting to speak. I just want to finish off with these words of Swami Vivekananda. He said that never say no, and never say I cannot. All the powers are within you. And his clarion call to the nation was Utishtita Jagrata Prappa Vara Na Nibodhata. That is, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. And what better on the 75th year, as we start celebrating in the 15th year, the Honorable Prime Minister gave his clarion call that Yehi Samay hai, Sahi Samay hai. So I think it is the time that India takes this vouch that for the next 25 years, when we celebrate the 100th year, we'll be at the top of the world. We'll be one of the powers that the world look up to, not only as the power like what we have seen in the world powers, a power which is responsible, a power which is compassionate, and a power which helps the rest of the world grow with him, which has been always the focus area of India. And that is what India has taught to the world, the soft power and conquest of the world through the mind space, and not by the space of, expanding the frontiers of our own boundary, but expanding the frontier of the mind space, which has no boundary, that is the human mind. So with this, I once again thank Rethink India for this wonderful initiative and for inviting me. Thank you very much, sir. Hope this strategic dialogues takes forward and gets a young mind integrated so that they can effectively contribute. And at the 100th year, we reach as one of the leading world powers. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. What an invocation of the power of Vedanta, what Group Captain Banerjee has really made, and linkages with the mission of Atmanirbharta. All the power is within you. Those prophetic words of Swami Vivekananda, which he quoted. Thanks a lot, sir, for coming and accepting this humble tribute from this August forum. We move forward. We would like now to felicitate Commodore Ranjit B. Rai, sir, with this token tribute for his lifetime striving in naval intelligence and operations. So from the high heights of the skies to the depths of the oceans, we have got Commodore Ranjit B. Rai, sir. I request, sir, to come and address the forum. Commodore Ranjit Rai, sir. Okay, maybe we'll revert. Sir is here with us, I think. Sir is here. Okay, maybe we will just return back. There's some technical snag. Prabhat sir, can you please ping sir?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, I'm very sorry for this. Anyways, so we have got the distinct privilege to honor one of the very, I would say, a very different army personnel per se. As we in our Rethink India parlance, we would like to call him as the Dil Se General. Sir, we are very, very sorry that your image is not appearing right here. Some technical snag which has come over there. And for presenting this token tribute on Lieutenant General Shokin Chauhan, I would invite the chairperson of Rethink India, Shri R.K. Vash sir, who has served in those very terrains, but as a administrator, as a civil administrator. I will request Sir Rajneesh Vash sir to read out this citation in honor of Sir Shokin Chauhan sir and bestow this honor from this August forum. I request Sir Rajneesh Vash is an IS officer of the 1978 batch. He was in the Manipur Tripura cadre. So the whole Northeast connect, it really comes to the fore. So I request Sir Rajneesh Vash to read out the citation of Lieutenant General Shokin Chauhan.
Raghav, thank you. It's a matter of great pleasure to me to welcome Mr. Chauhan and to felicitate him. If I'm correct, I've heard him on the last occasion when he spoke about Northeast, if I'm very correct. So, and that was a very scintillating talk. As Raghav said, I have spent a good amount of time in Northeast, but I have, I heard after a long time such a scintillating talk and description of the challenges of Northeast by Mr. Chauhan. Rather, I felt very grateful that Raghav could have him on our forum and could have his talk. And it's really a great pleasure to me. Raghav, the detailed, the other details of the of felicitation you may read,
Yeah, sure. So we would like to honor Lieutenant General Shokin Chauhan with the Honorable Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of global power India, for his lifelong striving to usher lasting peace on the northeastern frontiers of Bharat in various avatars, and through the sustained invocation of his majestic Dil Se accommodative approach. So this is the small token of tribute we would like to pay to Lieutenant General Chauhan, and we request him to address this forum and really unleash that Dil Se approach of his, which was so very resplendent and which was so very touching. The kind of connect which he had. He talked about the story of Vijayanagar, which Assam Rifles discovered, and such a place which is still not connected by the roads. So that is the passion and that is the commitment. And Sir Chauhan's domicile, he comes from Delhi, but then he chose Northeast as his karma bhumi. So this is so very profound, and a real pleasure and a privilege for us to Lieutenant General Chauhan from this August forum. So over to Sir Chauhan to address the forum. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rethink India, for inviting me and giving me this honor. I am indeed grateful that you have recognized the little contribution that I have done in order to bring peace. There have been notable speakers before me, all of whom have talked about the great Mahatma, or Swami Vivekananda, and of course the various issues that happened in 9/11 and what might be the future. But what to me is even more important, and that is also a part of Atman, the fact that in India we have 1 million mutinies. There are a number of people who are disenfranchised either by caste, creed, color, or the region they live in. I've had the good opportunity of being in the Northeast for a long time as a soldier, and later as the chairman of the ceasefire monitoring group, wherein I saw how important it is for us, if India is to be the power that we want to be, if we are to be the world leader, then these 1 million mutinies have to be reduced and have to be brought, and all the people living in India have to be brought into mainstream India. And for that, we as people living in mainstream India or mainland India have to work hard to accept the differences that are there. I have seen it in very close detail, and I was able to speak about it and articulate it the other day when I was speaking on the Northeast. So while Atmanirbharta is an excellent concept, and we have to, because no one else will help us, I'm absolutely clear, but also no one will help us unify our own country. It is for us. And what I loved about Rethink India and of course Ms. Ghosh was the enthusiasm he had in talking to me and to bringing me and my thoughts out, so that I could actually tell you the actual story of what exactly happens and how exactly we need to go ahead. I am absolutely in consonance. We are and will always be a world power. We've been a power of the mind. I agree with Swami Vivekananda entirely. We have to become bigger than what we are, and for that we must get rid of these minor insecurities that dwell in the mind and hearts of our people. So thank you, Rethink India, again for this honor that you've given me, and I cherish this honor, and I look forward to contributing more to helping people, disempowered or disenfranchised people, to bring them into mainstream. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. The pleasure and privilege was entirely ours to have you on this as a distinctive luminary over here. Moving forward, we would like to honor and felicitate Ambassador Anil Trigunayat, sir, for his lifelong contributions to bolster the Indo-African billion-to-billion ties in a 360-degree manner as an activist ambassador, as we have chosen to call him, because he went from pillar to post to really build those connections like Lieutenant General Chauhan is went pillar to post to connect Northeast to the mainstream, to the national mainstream. So it is with this passion and it is with this commitment, Ambassador Trigunayat, he worked in Malta, Libya, the African continent, the billion plus 54 nations continent, I would say, who always chose to think from the heart to further the national mission over there. So we would request Ambassador Trigunayat sir to accept this humble tribute from this August forum and address for a few minutes. Ambassador Trigunayat. Okay, Prabhat sir, could we resolve the issue with the Commodore?
Ranjit sir, yeah.
Okay, we will just move back. So we would like to invite Commodore Ranjit B. Rai sir to address the audience. And again, I would like to read out, we would like to present him this token Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of global power India for his lifetime striving in naval intelligence and operations. So Commodore Ranjit B. Rai sir, we request you to please address this forum and accept this humble tribute.
Still doesn't.
Last time he also tried to speak about that. There was some problem.
Okay, so we'll keep coming to sir. We will keep coming to his illustrious personality and the kind of prolific command he has over the whole Indo-Pacific issues. And he really brought to our purview in one of the sessions which we were having that India is more of a naval power, as Commodore Anil Jai Singh called that we have to stretch from being a naval power to a maritime power. But how India is a naval nation, that's what Commodore Ranjit B. Rai's perspective he gave very prolifically. We will come back to him once, as and when his technical issue is resolved. So we still cherish his great contributions. We would like now to take this opportunity to really honor and bestow this token tribute to Lieutenant General B.S. Pawar, sir, for being an authoritative voice, extending invaluable suggestions and futuristic recommendations for the modernization initiatives at the Indian Army Aviation. We would like to decorate him. We would like to present him this Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of a global power India. And I will request Lieutenant General Pawar to address this August gathering and accept this humble tribute from this forum. Okay. Dr. Surbi is telling that sir was to join around 4. So probably, okay, we are just 7 minutes past, so we'll come back. So it's back and forth. That's a kind of a tradition which we cherish in the Indian tradition, like since it's a day of commemorating Swami Vivekananda. And he quoted a shloka from Gita at his, so in the Indian tradition, Gita is read front, back, and from middle. So Pankti Bhed, it's a cyclical enterprise over there. So we would now like to take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt tribute to Major General C.P. Singh sir, who is known as the scholar soldier amongst his peers and the entire fraternity per se, and for his relentless spree of his scholarly pursuits, translating his operational experience into academic engagements, making him a truly scholar soldier whose uncanny approach to explaining the complex geostrategic scenarios in the common man's parlance is quite very appealing. So I would request Major General Singh sir to accept this humble tribute in the name of Honorable Manohar Parrikar sir and address this August forum, sir.
Thank you, Raghavji. Namaskar, good afternoon, and Jai Hind Dosto. I'm so thankful to Rethink India to invite me here for this award ceremony. And I would say it's a lifetime honor for me to be part of this ceremony. And I'm so privileged to be part of this August gathering, and some of my seniors who just spoke, I could never open my mouth in front of them. And today I'm on the same stage with them. It's a great singular honor for me, sir. Thank you, Rethink India. Thank you, Raghavji. Thank you, Surabhiji. and Prabhat ji for this honor.
Thank you,
I
sir.
would
Thanks,
like to, can you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
audible?
so please.
Just two things I would like to focus. A lot has been spoken on the subject. Firstly, all of us who are in the, this strategic thinking or the strategic affairs business, like today's forum, should be truthful. That is what I want. Speak without any prejudice, without any political affiliations, or without any sponsorships. Speak your mind. Have the courage of conviction to say the spade is spade. Be correct to say what you wish to say, whether it is print media, whether it is TV panels, or whether it is, TV or the meets where the people all over are listening. Just to give you an example, I was part of one of the TV panel when this Galwan skirmishes took place, and people were in a lot of josh, and I said there is requirement to exercise constraints. India and China are not Israel or Lebanon or Syria. And there was one Colonel Saab on the panel who just wanted to reach Beijing in the next day. And during the break, the anchor told me, sir, you got to be more aggressive, more assertive. That is what public wants to hear. I said, sorry, I'm walking out if that is the requirement of your channel. So they said, no, no, sir, you speak what you want to. So I said, at this point of time, when the forces are together, these small skirmishes are bound to happen. But as head of the state or as the responsible states, nation states, we all have to exercise restraint because war serves no purpose. So that is what I'm saying. Be truthful to yourself. And second, and the last point, I would say, do one thing good today to the humanity, to the nature, to the planet Earth, and leave this place in a better state than what we inherited. आज एक किसी हैंडीकैप व्यक्ति को आप चौराहे से क्रॉस करवाएं या कम से कम खुद रेड लाइट पे रुकें, respect the law of the land, you will contribute towards this nation, this world, this humanity becoming a better place to live. And राघव जी, चलते चलते एक लाइन आपके लिए मैं कहना चाहूंगा. We are all answerable to history. एक दिन इतिहास पूछेगा कि तुम कहाँ थे और तुमने क्या किया. We all have to be answerable to history to say what did we contribute towards this planet, towards this nature, towards bringing India a better nation state, bringing pride to the nation. What did we contribute? And if you're satisfied in your heart that you have contributed enough towards that goal, then you have found a place in history. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Sir has brought back the attention from exterior to the internal, and that is what the Vedantic wisdom of the global power India has had, always had. कि अपने अंदर भी झांको, अपने अंदर से power, do one good deed a day. What a message Major General C.P. Singh Sahab has given. And speak from the heart, speak the truth without fear or without any favor per se over there. So thanks a lot, sir, for your profound words of wisdom on this very prolific, very tumultuous day, full with,
thank you, sir.
As we saw over there. I see that Lieutenant General B.S. Pawar, sir, has joined in, and we had just felicitated him in his absentia. We would like to really invite Lieutenant General B.S. Pawar, sir, to come and accept this token tribute from this August forum for being an authoritative voice, extending invaluable suggestions and futuristic recommendations for the modernization initiatives at the Indian Army Aviation for propelling the frontiers of global power India. So without further ado, I would request—
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you.
I would request Lieutenant General Pawar to address the forum as well. Yeah, sir. Sir, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me to this fantastic forum. I am grateful to Rethink India Institute for and all the participants for having to this country on various issues which
really honored to have been considered for this prestigious Manohar Parrikar Prashasti Award for propelling the frontiers of global power India. Actually, I think Manohar Parrikar, I met him once when he was defense minister. And I found what a straightforward, simple, very intelligent, very sharp the person he was. And as a defense minister, he did a few things which, as a now a veteran, remembers. The OE, in whatever form it came because of him. He was the one who was there. Two important things happened at the court and Nuri.
I think we were facing some of the connectivity issues. Maybe we'll be getting back Lieutenant General Pawar and you'll be hearing him again. We move on the proceedings of this August Forum. I'm extremely sorry. This is for the aviation and the defense universe. Somehow the logo is not visualizing. I will request Prabhat sir to bestow this honor, because without the defense journalists, without the people who are observing it all and reporting to the larger public at large, educating them in its all vivid nuances, the complex frontiers of defense and strategic affairs would always remain tough for the common people to understand. I will request Prabhat sir to read out this citation in honor of the aviation and defense universe. I'm extremely sorry for this technical goof up that the logo is not visible, and we did not write because the logo was so self-revealing that we didn't feel like writing it down, the name over there. So Prabhat sir, please do the honors on Madam Sangeeta Saxena and the entire team at Aviation and Defense Universe. Prabhat sir.
Yeah, right, sir. Going ahead, we really feel privileged to bestow the honor on Aviation and Defense Universe. As I can say, Sangeeta ma'am, we have been in touch for the last 6-7 years, and in journalism also, I learned from other places, but I learned a lot from Sangeeta ma'am as well in defense journalism, particularly when we were together in India Strategy. We were working with India Strategic. So, going further, this Aviation and Defense Universe are being bestowed this Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for bringing to the fore the complex and futuristic frontiers of aviation, defense, homeland security, defense industry, research and development, civil aviation, and a vast area of air, land, and naval source to the common knowledge in a simple, lucid, and trustworthy manner, furthering the dictum of we just report facts, we don't change them. So, Sangeeta ma'am, I would like to, welcome you to speak upon a few words on this occasion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. You think India, Prabhat, it's been a real honor for us. And at JDU, it's really, it's one of those things that we always feel that we don't sensationalize, so probably we're not well read. But then now I feel that it does pay to be low-key. And I'm really, really happy, for one thing, that it's the name of the gentleman on whom the award is being given for, Mr. Parrikar. He was, I had that very little small stint for 2.5 years working as associate editor with BJP's party organ, and with no affiliation to the party, of course, as a professional journalist. But he was 2000 to 2005, he was chief minister. And during that stint, I met him twice, and he had his ideas were very clear. And I always was, I used to always wonder, IIT ka banda, and he's so clear about politics and clear about other things too. And I think that is something which is, I really feel honored, Prabhat, to be, to ADU having got this. And also we can say that nothing we can say about Swami Vivekananda and his special day today. And I really don't like remembering 9/11 for the Twin Towers, let me tell you that. And neither did I feel very happy when we were being told that there's going to be a, oath taking in Kabul. But this is something which I'm so happy that you thought of this idea. I mean, you could have thought of any other day, but commemorating a day for which we Indians have always felt proud is great. ADU will always be grateful, we've got real support from everybody. Everybody is, when we were new, everybody was there to hold our hands, and I'm really grateful. I really hope everybody reads it. The aim of a journalist is, ultimately only readership. So I'm very greatly honored. Raghavji, thank you very much. Prabhat, thank you so much. ADU is really honored.
I'm the honor and privileges entirely, yes, and we are again very, very apologetic for this technical goof up that we could not project the lovely logo, the whole imagery of ADU over here for all our August members on this forum. I would just, in this continuum of really commemorating the journalists, the defense and aviation journalists who really go to the last mile and dig out the complex nuances and present it to the general masses, because that's what the way forward is for the common layman to understand what the whole complex frontier of defense journalism is all about. I would like to invite Sir Vinay Kumar and pay our heartfelt tribute to him with this Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of global power India, for his lifetime contributions to the field of defense and aerospace journalism. And before I request Vinay Kumar sir to give his acceptance speech, I will request Prabhat sir to speak a few words about Vinay sir and his illustrious work, what he has been doing it painstakingly in this area. Prabhat sir.
Yes, I mean, as far as I know, Vinay sir, this is for the last 5-6 years. So, I mean, he is very, he is a senior journalist. He worked with Press Trust of India. Then he worked with Hindu as well. He was Chief of Bureau Delhi. And as far as covering this defense and aerospace journalism, he traveled at many places. He traveled traveled abroad as well to cover this defense and aerospace part of journalism. So with this, I would like to, invite Vinay sir to speak upon a few words on this case.
Good afternoon, Raghavji. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, yeah.
And this is indeed a great honor to be amidst some eminent personalities and sharp minds, very senior officials drawn from our armed forces. This evening, you have brought them together. It's a great occasion, Raghavji. I feel which a great service which Rethink India has done. As a defense journalist and somebody who has covered civil and military aviation also, me and Sangeeta had the honor of traveling together on many trips, and this is also an area which allowed me to travel to the length and breadth of the country, from Kargil to Andaman and Nicobar, and as well as to foreign countries also, to see the defense cooperation which India has with other countries and what India's capabilities are and how we are honing our capabilities. And it's really an honor. And I had also the honor of knowing Mr. Parrikar for a brief while he was defense minister. I was covering defense ministry for the Hindu also. And, to put it in a few words, Mr. Parrikar was very accessible to us, very simple in his manners, very forthright in his speech, and somebody who had devoted his life to usher in the self-reliance in defense industry. He was the one who laid a great stress on research and leading India towards, if you see how DRDO was restructured during his time, how he laid great stress on finding young minds, young researchers and scientists to bring them to forth. I think it's a great tribute that we are paying him today. And as far as challenges are concerned, eminent speakers before me, diplomats and ambassadors have already outlined it. And 9/11, after 9/11, everyone knows that the geostrategic affairs of the world changed forever. And in our neighborhood also, we face challenges. And recently, our Raksha Mantri, Shri Rajnath Singh, had also, outlined the challenges which we face from both the frontiers, Eastern and Western. To what Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, whom I had the honor of knowing since he was JSXP spokesperson of MEA, I've also traveled with him abroad when I was in the Hindu. Economic development he stressed upon. I'll just add one more word to it. Inclusive economic development and social harmony, which is very, very necessary to make India economic superpower. Already we have seen projections that of 2030, how India is going to progress. And certainly this COVID-19 virus has also, adversely affected all economies, global economies around the globe. So we have to keep a tight leash, and it's an honor. My stress will only be that if in Rethink India, we can, change this paradigm of nation building, bring these energies to the fore and, garner and harness the energies which our youth has, the talent which our youth has in many, many fields. And as a journalist, I can only say that, we through our own writings, we also contribute to, bring these stories to the common reader. And economic development with inclusiveness and with the delivery which Mahatma Gandhi had said to the person standing at the last person standing in the queue. If we can bring the fruits of development and economic progress to that person in the standing last in the queue, I think we would have fulfilled our national aspirations. Thank you very much for this honor. I'm really privileged. Thank you, Rethink India, once again.
Thanks a lot, sir. And sir touched upon a very important facet out here, the inclusive economic development and really bringing about the youthful energies. And it's with that intention, a couple of months back, we started the Strategic Saturdays with Prabhat sir. And the whole idea was to bring this complex, intertwined universe of strategic and defense affairs to the academia at large, to the because at Rethink India and at Strategic Affairs, we feel that it's the convergence of all social sciences happens in the domain of strategic affairs, and perhaps all our scientific and technological advancements and accomplishments, it converge into defense platforms. So probably there is no other frontier, no other interface whereby the social sciences and the hard STEAM science and technology, they all converge so very well together, and a communion of, as we say that the protocol today, what we are observing is the protocol of patriotism. As Major General C.P. Singh Saab said that the ordering over here, we just try to keep it a bit random with ambassadors in place, with people from very eminent people from the armed forces. So this has been the effort over here. So we move on. And the third journalist in this triad, this triumvirate of three journalistic entities which we are commemorating, we have Shri Krishna sir. We would like to pay our humble tributes for his lifetime contributions to the field of defense and aerospace journalism. And maybe Prabhat sir would like to add a few words about Shri Krishna sir, because हमारे भारत वर्ष में कहते हैं जहाँ ना पहुँचे रवि वहाँ पहुँचे कवि. So maybe as our Vinay Kumar sir said, that the eyes and ears of the politicians, maybe of Raksha Mantri, are probably these defense journalists who have a critical eye over things over there, and that's why they can make some changes, some pushes, some restructuring, re-engineering, whatever over there. So over to Prabhat sir to introduce Shri Krishna sir, and then we take it forward.
Yeah, before introducing Shri Krishna sir, I would like to cite one example. And once I was attending this DRDO conference at DRDO Bhavan in New Delhi. So at that time, Mr. Parrikar was defense minister. So आपने जो कहा राघव सर कि वो मतलब ये होता है डिफेंस जर्नलिज्म का वो, तो उन्होंने immediately मतलब एड्रेस करने के बाद immediately ये कहा कि बाबा Oh, defense journalism. So, acha, journalist. Oh, media persons are these days like. So he is very humorous as well as witty. I mean, when he used to put his words, he was like very balanced and approachable as well. No doubt, he was very much approachable during his stint as defense minister. So that was the thing. And like now going with Sri Krishna sir's introduction. So I've been knowing him for the last 3-4 years, and apart from that, so he has been contributing to this defense journalism. When I was associated with this, I co-founded this Raksha Nirveda. So he has been contributing, and since the time I have been knowing him. So we met many times, and in very recent years, I mean, in the last 3-4 years, I've seen this his contribution towards this. That way, I mean, we would like to, bestow on the award to Sri Krishna, sir. Yeah, Raghav sir, please.
So I would like to invite Sri Krishna sir, his name in itself a very, very special one, Sri Krishna, to give his mantras on this Kurukshetra of a VUCA word, how to take things further and forward for global sthirta, which is the central theme of today's forum. So I would invite Sri Krishna sir to address the forum. Sir. Sri Krishna sir?
I think he could.
Okay, some technical. Let's move on.
Ranjit sir has joined back now.
Okay, so let's complete the journalistic section, and then we will move back to the armed forces, and then we have a whole galaxy of industry and academia. Because without industrial base, we have got Bhatia sir from Bharat Forge, the whole Atmanirbhar movement, creating the big defense platforms, and also from Hyper Stealth, we have got their MD over there. So these are the kind of tributes we want to pay further. And we also have got back Lieutenant General Pawar. We could not hear him more because of the technical glitch. So let's honor Shivdas Bhattacharjee sir for his lifetime contributions to the field of strategic affairs pertaining to the northeast of India. And Shivdas sir has been our constant companion in the strategic Saturdays, which have been going for the last 2.5 months, and the passion and the pain he has got for northeast, and it is so equivalent with Chokin sir, along with the commitment कि भाई कुछ हो नहीं रहा है अष्टसखी को लेकर, बात तो हो रही है बहुत, पर that pain reflects in his heart. And that's what makes him some very, very compassionate and compassionate intellectual, I would rather say. So without further ado, I would request Shivdas sir to just address the forum, and we will move forward. Shivdas sir. And while Shivdas sir, we have a very eminent academician from the Northeast itself, from Assam Don Bosco University, Dr. Stephen Mavle. We would be having the honor to felicitate him as well as a thorough academic who is working on sustainable development of the region out there. So we have got Shivdas sir on the mic. Sir.
Good afternoon and namaste. It's a great privilege on my part to be here, and thank you very much. Such august platform and such distinguished panel. And actually, I don't deserve this position. Actually, the thanks a lot to one and only Prabhat sir, and who has actually made this possible and carved way for me to be here. And I express my heartiest gratitude to him for this. Actually, you may say in this august platform, I am the only layman, and I only see from the perspective of a layman. So, what happened with me? I was a student of English literature, but since my childhood, actually, what I always appreciated is giving personal opinion. And when in university, I wrote about Shakespeare's Hamlet. One answer, according to me, professor called me and he called him, you can't write in this way. But why can I write in this way? He told me, you refer to A.C. Bradley or someone else, Hazlitt or somebody else. I have told him that question has asked to me. Why should I go to Hazlitt or A.C. Bradley? They are not the patents of Shakespeare. So actually, then I thought that I can't quote that thing, though I have proved A.C. Bradley false in describing Shakespeare or his Hamlet. Hamlet is all about actually is told about Shakespeare's all dramas. Actually, Mona Lisa's smile that is yet to discover. So I have my own thought. So I want to give put forward my own thought, but I was restricted in the university and I left them. I did not complete my education. That no, I can't quote anybody. I can't take anybody's statement, anybody's comment for granted. I never take this. So I quit it, and I searched some platform why I can put forward my own opinion, and that is why my writing started and newspaper writing started. I go getting associated with the Assam Tribune. The editors told me, yes, you are the right person. Your perception is right. You can go through, you can go forward. So that's why this all started. I have been writing since 1999 without having any expertise, without having any knowledge. Actually, what I see, but which one I see, logic. I actually try to find out logic in everything. उद्धरत आत्मनम आत्मने आत्मनम अवसादयत आत्मा ही वो आत्मना बंधु आत्मा ही वो रिपुरात्मना। बहुत सारे बातें हो रही है भगवत गीता की। तो इंसान जो है वो अपने पतन के लिए खुद ही जिम्मेदार है और अपने उद्धार के लिए खुद ही जिम्मेदार है। जो रिपु और इंद्रियों के बस में आ गया वही उसका क्या बोलो शत्रु है, और जो उसको बस में कर लिया वही उसका मित्र है। तो हमारा our mission to make India a global power cannot happen if we only actually get accomplished what we have achieved. We need to point out the demerits as well. We cannot put the entire things that is happening in the social sector, in the economic sector, under the carpet of our achievement in the foreign policy or strategic affairs. My perspective is like that. And in this perspective, I have written 2 books. First one is India's fragile foreign policy towards neighboring nations. The word fragile here, I have found actually it was written before Prime Minister Modi came to power. It published in 2014 actually. And some portion of Prime Minister Modi's foreign policy has also been included in this book. Here in this book, I tried to prove the point that India doesn't have a foreign policy concept yet. It is yet to grow. That is my point. And there are 2 chapters that I will like to mention. Northeast is a concept of isolation. Why I am telling? I am telling this is when we telling about Northeast, we are talking about Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura all together. You cannot put them under one umbrella. There are divergent interests and divergent appeals, ethnicity and all these things. Another chapter is there, Bangladesh's foreign policy. My book is actually SAARC plus China and Myanmar. And I found that how during the time of General Ziaur Rahman, Bangladesh dictated the foreign policy of the whole Islamic nation. Actually, Ziaur Rahman was the architect of the Khalistan movement. He was the diplomatic advisor of Ziaul Haq at that time, and that is the era Bangladesh-Pakistan partnership revolved after 1971.
Thank you, Shivdas Dada. I think
And just 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. 1 minute, sir, if you don't mind. And the book is second book is Modi's Tour in the India's Unbound Opportunities, narrative of the substantives and beyond. That is what I have mentioned. So what substantives we have got? We have. I'm not interested in rhetoric. क्या होगा, क्या होने वाला है, वो क्या बोला, इसने क्या बोला. What substantive have happened, I have tried to point out. And I wish if you go through this book and give you valuable feedback, I shall be highly obliged. And thank you very much for giving me this platform and using my platform and sharing my view. And thanks a lot. Thanks, Professor. Thanks, Raghavji. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
Lord Shivdas Da. भारत के ईशान कोण से ईश्वरीयता का प्रकाश, आपने गीता का जो श्लोक उद्धृत किया कि it is the divinity from within which really makes us the Indians the global power. तो यह एक आयाम, यह जो अध्यात्म का आयाम है, भारत के ईशान कोण से आता है. बहुत ही सुंदर शिवदास दादा. और the passion and the commitment with which he has been pursuing the cause and case of northeast of India, while being a journalist, while being a जो कि हमारे में परंपरा में ऋषि प्रज्ञा की बात कही जाती है. So thanks a lot. The honor and privilege was entirely ours. I just saw that Ambassador Anil Trigunayat sir has joined us. So हम लोग थोड़ा सा retreat करेंगे and then we will advance further. And since ये defense और strategic affairs का forum है, तो हमारे विद्वान और विज्ञ लोग, बड़े-बड़े जो महारथी, अतिरथी योद्धा यहाँ हैं, कि कुछ पीछे हटते हैं तब हम आगे लेते हैं. And that is what the message CP Singh साहब also gave कि युद्ध ही अंतिम प्रयास नहीं है. तो एक बहुत ही दार्शनिक विवेचना के साथ भी आज का यह सत्र चलता जा रहा है कि रणबांकुरे भी हैं, पर रणबांकुरों का जो दर्शन है वो बहुत ही स्तुत्य है. And it is so very deeply ingrained into the philosophical foundations of this knowledge republic, Bharat. So we would request. I would just come to the section. We would like to felicitate Ambassador Anil Trigunayat sir for his lifetime contributions. To think from the heart and to further the national mission. So I would request Ambassador Trigunayat sir to come in to receive this token tribute in the name of Honorable Manohar Parrikar sir and to enlighten this forum further. Sir.
Thank you so much, Raghavji, and I'm really, I would like to express my gratitude to you and all the others for bestowing this very special honor on me. I do not think that I deserve it, but I really respect and am grateful for the thought and for this honor. We all know Manohar Parrikar ji, what kind of a person he was, one of the finest defense ministers India had, one of the best administrators. So therefore, it is a double honor. And I personally had met him and held him in high esteem. I was listening to the esteemed friend and the speaker before, and I was quite struck by the fact when he said that India has no foreign policy. And so let me talk 2 minutes about this within my allotted time. India's foreign policy began much before it was an independent country. And its foreign policy is not, what is the purpose of foreign policy? That is something we have to understand. Critics are there. No foreign policy is perfect. But at a particular given time, working within a certain context, with your own limitations, how do you perceive and how do you acquire and achieve your national interest? And that is what the whole thing, you may call it foreign policy, you may call it whatever name, but it is what it is at the moment. And a country like India with 1/6 of the population in the world, can it survive without a foreign policy? It is another thing that it has not been codified in the manner that we can perhaps try and analyze it. But to say that it had no foreign policy, I think it is stretching it a bit too far. Now, we all know that in the last 75 years, India has not only achieved whatever heights it has so far in the global domain, it has also done remarkably well for the development of the large number of countries. Since it came out of the colonialism, it was against anti-apartheid, anti-colonialism, and it fought for the developing world. And that is where non-alignment movement became your policy, because you did not want to get caught between the two poles. And that served India well, because a country that has been exploited for over 200 years, you can imagine its condition. And even at that time, even before the India became independent, it was a part of the international and multilateral system. In the United Nations, we were the founding members. Virtually every single major organization India had been in. In the Korean armistice, India was very much there in Congo. In the peacekeeping across the world, India has been present everywhere. And today, what we are looking at as the vaccine diplomacy, I would come right away here, is what is holding India high compared to any other country in the world. That despite the fact that our own needs are much more, we have believed in something called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And it is not simply just to show off, it has been our policy forever. Share and care. What we have, we want to share with Africa, we want to share with developing world. So even in 1964, we started our Indian Technical Economic Cooperation Program and helped 160 countries developing their capacities, their development, and their expertise. So that's what the policy is all about. Because if your neighbors are stronger, happier, you are able to grow farther and you can grow stronger. That has been the policy. And that's where your neighborhood first policy comes. The problem is that everybody starts thinking in terms of a zero-sum game. That, oh, today China is there, so China has become close to Sri Lanka or to Nepal or to Bangladesh. That means India's role has been reduced. I mean, that is a very simplistic kind of an argument, and that does not hold good. And that is precisely what the critics will. It is not to say that we do not have weaknesses. We do have weaknesses. Our biggest weakness is that we still have to develop much more in order to become a real big, great power that can exercise its control far and wide. If anything happens in Kabul, you start criticizing that people don't have any policy. Now, if you want to have a policy that you don't want to talk to terrorists, then there is no justification. And on the one hand, you're fighting terror. On the other hand, you start cultivating the terrorists. So we don't talk to Pakistan. We say, stop terrorism, and then only we can talk. That is what a policy is all about. So I would just like to say, anyway, I mean, this is just the 2 minutes I had. So I do not want to take much time on this. Maybe some other time we'll have a greater possibility of negotiating on the fundamentals of our foreign policy. I myself do disagree with several aspects, but at the same time, whatever India has achieved today, and foreign policy should also be seen in terms of your domestic development, because it is a reflection of our domestic policy. So it is in that context that I would like to once again thank you for having me and for confirming this award. With great humility, I accept the honor. Thank you again.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank
The
you so
honor
much.
and privilege is entirely ours, and you could make it over there. Since we have the slide, Lieutenant General B.S. Pawar, sir, I would request him. He has joined us again to just complete his address to this August forum, and then we will take the felicitations further. Lieutenant Pawar. Sir.
Myself. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being on this forum, and I think it's a rare award. Like I said earlier, I met that time the defense minister Mr. Manohar Parrikar once, and very sharp and intelligent man. I mean, the impression he gives is different, but actually what is inside, what is going on in the mind, you really know that everything is going on fine. See, two things happened, Pathankot and Uri. And we are all aware what was the response of India as a country. That shows the mettle of a person like Manohar Parrikar. And it is no small thing that took place, that the IDSA, the premier think tank of the Indian nation, has been named after him as Manohar Parrikar Institute of Defense Analysis and Studies. I think which is a great honor and shows where this person stood. Having said that, a few things of my own. I'm not going to comment on what others have said. One thing we lack in this country, and I have been writing, and I say it openly, I wrote a chapter on it sometime back in a book, which was released, India's national security strategy. Nothing exists. There has been some movement. The task was given to our Mr. Doval and his party. But unfortunately, even today, we are not out with a national security strategy. Everything flows from there. If a country does not have a national security strategy, what are the armed forces supposed to follow? It's just the directions. So I think one of the major lacunas existing today is a national security strategy. We need to get it in place so that other things can move. I have been writing a lot on a lot of other issues, especially aviation and defense, which is my strong point. Someone spoke out of the Northeast. He spoke in a different context. You know, majority of our political, the bureaucracy looks at North, where the actual trouble or danger lies, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Northeast actually.
मनोहर पारिकर वाली मीटिंग अंदर ही आ जाओ.
The infrastructure which did not exist earlier has come. It is there. So, lastly, I just want to say, in Afghanistan, what is the way forward? You must have seen a lot of articles in the newsprint, discussions in the television media. It's something, while wait and watch is a very good approach, but at some time we'll have to take in this security cauldron which is going on, because we cannot just keep sitting on the side. And as far as partners are concerned, everyone follows his own national interest, be it the USA, be it any other country. And I think it's high time India only looked at its national interest and not that we are with USA or we are with XYZ. I won't take too much of time. I'm watching it. Thank you. It's an excellent forum which has honored the people with you honoring people so that people get encouraged and write more and discuss more on issues which involve national security and so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We really got enlightened by your profound words. And despite the technical connectivity issues, we move on further to felicitate our next galaxy of luminaries this evening. We have got a very special, I would say, luminary, a person who is someone whose job role is all about finding faults in the whole space of it all. So we are really fortunate enough to have Sir Amit Kaushi, sir. He has been a member of the Indian Defence Account Services, and the eruditeness and the simplicity with which he has the command over the entire defense acquisition process. The NEP, which was just a 500-page document, it took all our great academicians a huge time to explain it to the commoners. But in one of our sessions, Amit sir came, and the 800+ pager, the complex, the multi-spectrum, the defense acquisition process, sir explained it so very lucidly, so very authoritatively. And the kind of command he has over the entire subject, it really made us feel to pay our humble tributes to his persona with this Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of global power India, because once our acquisition process is pristine and strong enough, then probably our acquisition speed, the rate at which we can acquire the weaponry, which we cannot produce ourselves, probably it enhances many folds. So I would just like to request Amit sir to accept this token tribute for his immense contribution to the evolution of the successive defense acquisition processes, and by being an exemplary observer and critical commentator of its deeper dynamics. So requesting Amit sir to come and address the forum and accept this humble tribute.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mittal, and I am really honored by the kind word you in which you introduced me, especially the fact that I specialize in sort of finding faults, which I take as a compliment, because having worked in the system for a very long time, I think it's important not just to say everything is fine and hunky-dory, but also to, as an insider, not as a critic, but as an insider, to say what's not right, and to sort of think of ways and means of addressing those problems. Is there any problem? I think you were.
Those are perfect, sir. We can see you now. Yeah.
So I am really honored by your decision to bestow this appreciation on me in the name of late Manohar Parrikar, who's known for a lot of things, including the procedural changes made in 2016 and especially the strategic partnership model. But for me, one thing which I would always remember him for is the fact that he this was something which was talked about for a very, very long time, but nobody actually had the courage to take that initiative. But he did that, and in 2015 or 16, he set up a committee to look into the whole business of setting up a defense acquisition organization, which would be a bespoke organization which would deal with the entire gamut of activities related to acquisition, right from the time the operational requirements are identified by the services till the time the equipment is acquired. Unfortunately, it hasn't really seen the light of the day, but nevertheless, I still feel that it was one of his biggest contributions, because there's a very detailed roadmap which has been laid down. The reports are available, and at some point of time in future, if somebody decides to brush it up and introduce this far-reaching change, it will go a long way in addressing the problem that we face in acquisitions at present. Well, I'm really humbled by being in the midst of such a galaxy of stalwarts. I really don't think that I belong here, because I'm neither from the industry nor from the armed forces. I belong to a service which is universally disliked. But nevertheless, I again take that as a compliment, because that gives me courage to introspect and see where the things have gone wrong. I think Rethink is doing a great job in promoting a very dispassionate and objective discourse on defense, which is the need of the day, because mostly there's a lot of prejudices and biases and misconceptions which inform the defense discourse in this country. And I think it's time that we first disabuse ourselves of all these wrong notions, so that we can talk about real issues. I'll not take much time. I in fact congratulate you for all the good work that your you and your team is doing. I thank Dr. Surbi and Prabhat, who I've known for some time. And so thank you once again for the honor that you have bestowed on me. And I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Extremely thankful, sir. The honor and privilege is entirely ours. And very importantly, I would like to say to all the esteemed audience out here, the eruditeness and the simplicity with which Sir Kaushish really explained that bulky defense acquisition process. That's a paradigm. That's an academic paradigm which probably needs to be taken beyond the confines of IDS per se. So that is something which was our prime takeaway, because our engagement is largely with the academia. So moving further to take this celebration, who are the juggernauts, who are the ones who are providing the Atmanirbharta to the Indian Armed Forces, the power of soaring high into the skies and to really fight on those all-terrain, I would say, tank battles and all that stuff. So in this series, we have got the legendary Bharat Forge from Kalyani Group, the legendary Baba Kalyani, one of the very eminent, respected industrialists of the country, whose words matter. And when he says, he delivers in time, and he takes on these kind of challenges over there. So we are really fortunate enough to really bestow this tribute in the name of our former Raksha Mantri, who has got so much of accolades from all the galaxy since this afternoon. We would like to pay our tributes to Bharat Forge for developing Kalyani M4, a multi-role platform designed to meet its specific requirements of armed forces for quick mobility in rough terrain and in areas affected by mine and IED threats, along with the best-in-class levels of ballistic and blast protection, up to 50 kilogram of TNT, side blast, or IED roadside bombs due to its design, built on a flat 4 monocoque hull. So as I said earlier, that all our science and technology, it all converges somewhere or the other into the defense and space platforms. Those are the frontiers where combined the national conscious work together. So we have got
Rajendra Singh Bhatia, sir, the President and CEO, Defense and Aerospace from Kalyani Bharat Forge.
To receive this token appreciation from this August forum, we request sir to come and accept this and speak a few words over here. So.
Thank you, Raghavji, Prabhatji. Firstly, my compliments for starting this process of giving awards related to defense and strategic affairs, and in the name of the gentleman, Mr. Manohar Parrikar, with whom I had ample opportunities and meetings and spent a lot of time. I was part of the strategic partnership committee, which I had chaired. And of course, we always felt he was one hands-on Raksha Mantri we had. Sir, we have been talking about global peace or balance, which can actually provide the stability which the world needs today. But peace will only come if we can operate from a position of strength. No nation can strive to occupy a pole or a pivotal position if it is going to remain a net importer of security. We heard a lot of comments on the foreign affairs, but one thing is certain, that technology denial will always remain an instrument of foreign policy and strategic dominance. So if India wants its rightful place in the Committee of the Nations, and which it rightly deserves with 1.3 billion manpower solidly behind it, the need of the hour is Make in India or Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is no longer a slogan. Perhaps it is the most timely action which is required. India is perhaps one country which clearly does not reflect its industrial capability in the reflection of the defense technologies of the nation. A country which has done wonderfully well in aerospace and in nuclear has shown to become a net importer in defense. We at the Kalyani Group, of which Bharat Forge is the flagship company, have been striving to make our bit or our contribution to making India a self-reliant or a Atmanirbhar country. Kalyani M4 is only one product, but I can assure you, sir, and the people who are on this particular call today, that our whole focus is about developing technologies. We do not really go and chase RFPs and RFIs and so-called the contracts, but we do go about developing technologies and the products which cover a large segment. In the segment of artillery, we have already created 8 ab initio developed, designed, developed, and manufactured platforms. In terms of vehicles, in addition to Kalyani M4, we have a large number of offerings which are now being exported and also being used by forces in the United Nations. I would not take any more time. Let me thank you for this award being bestowed on our group and the company and the vertical which I lead. And I will add by saying that as a nation, India has always disappointed both the pessimists and the optimists. The time has come to stop disappointing the optimists and reserve this only for the pessimists. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thanks a lot, sir. It's really a proud honor for us. And as sir said, और मुझे रामधारी सिंह दिनकर की वो कविता याद आ गई कि क्षमा शोभती उस भुजंग को उसके पास गरल हो, उसका क्या जो दंतहीन विष रहित विनीत सरल हो. So we have to have our minimal deterrence capability. The message what Rajendra sir has given to the entire techno-managerial establishment of the country, that technological denial would remain a foreign policy implication of the developed world. तो जैसे कि बहुत प्रबुद्ध हमारे आज के स्पीकर्स ने कहा कि हमको आत्मनिर्भर बनना पड़ेगा. आत्मनिर्भरता के जो मैनिफेस्टेशंस, जो आयाम आज इस सत्र में हमको सीखने को मिले हैं, वो वास्तव में उद्भट है और अद्भुत है. Thanks a lot, sir, for really enlightening this forum and move forward in this journey of felicitating some of the key frontiers over there. We would also like to felicitate the Jindal School of International Affairs, which has taken a leap forward in the entire foreign policy discourse. की अभी तक हिंदुस्तान में एक JNU School of International Studies हुआ करती थी, the conventional foreign policy which we had. And what struck us, our editorial board regarding the Jindal School of International Affairs was their unique mix of India-centric, futuristic and geostrategic centers of research. उनके नाम अगर आप देखेंगे, मैं पढ़ना चाहूंगा, इसको एक पाठ करना चाहूंगा आपके लिए. अ न्यू साउथ एशिया, नए भारत की बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने की, तो जिंदल स्कूल में उन्होंने बात रखी कि भाई अ न्यू साउथ एशिया. They have a special center on Afghanistan studies, which has become so very important and pertinent, and that's the day we are commemorating today. The African, Latin American, Caribbean studies, the border studies group, a host of other very, very innovative frontiers. And we had the great opportunity to talk some of the professors, some of the luminaries from this school. Somehow or the other, they probably could not come to receive this token appreciation. So we bestow them in their absentia for their great work, because this is where the imagination starts. This is where the newer frontiers, एक नए विश्व की परिकल्पना जो कि भारत दे सकता है, जो आज इस फोरम का एक मूल उद्देश्य है कि फ्रॉम वूका टू स्थिरता. वो जो स्थिरता है हमारे, वो भारत का जो दर्शन है, और जो स्वामी विवेकानंद ने आज ही के दिन 1893 में वो शिकागो की उस वर्ल्ड पार्लियामेंट ऑफ रिलीजन्स में प्रस्तुत किया एक छोटे से उद्बोधन के रूप में, तो वही भारत को पुनः अपनी सारी सामरिक शक्ति, अपनी दार्शनिक शक्ति का अगर एक सामंजस्य हो जाए, तो हम लोग पुनः विश्व गुरु और विश्व ग्लोबल पावर जो हम बात आज एस्पिरेशन रख रहे हैं, वो इट्स नॉट अ फार डे अहेड. We would like to felicitate Dr. Stephen Mavli. As I said, he comes from the northeastern state of Assam. He leads the Assam Don Bosco University, and a very profound academic who has been furthering the frontiers of multidisciplinary, outcome-based teaching, learning, and socially committed research for the sustainable development of the northeastern region of India. So I would like to welcome Dr. Stephen Mavli to accept this token tribute from this August forum and enlighten this forum for a few minutes, and then we will move forward. Dr. Mavli.
Good evening to everyone. Let me start by saying that I was pleasantly surprised
when I received an invite to attend this forum and to receive this award. I was puzzled that I'm in a company of ambassadors, of luminaries from defense and other fields. I'm just a vice chancellor of a university. But it impressed me that, and I want to express my gratitude to you for inviting me over for this. I was very much impressed that you started this session with Swami Vivekananda and the address that he gave. The power that he projected on that occasion about our nation is something that has attracted the whole world, and it still remains valid today. And what he spoke about at that time most eminently was about tolerance, about a welcoming attitude that our country has had all over the world, down the centuries, right from ancient times and an ancient civilization. I have spent roughly about 60 years here in Northeast India, though I was born and brought up in South India. It's a paradise. And I very often the rest of India does not understand what goes on here. And the beauty of living in a place like Northeast India, a mosaic of tribes. I grew up at a time when we were proud of our non-alignment status and that our country was one of the leaders in that movement. It was respected, though we had no real military powers to make our presence felt on the international scene. I also grew up at a time when our secular socialist values had an impact on the country as a whole, as well as on the world. And I look forward to not making our country an aligned country, neither towards crass capitalism, nor the totalitarianism of the left. But our own model had much to give and still has much to give. In that context, I remember a few years ago, we organized a workshop for a few days on Asian values. We invited also China to come over and participate. We had about 7-8 universities from that country, apart from about 40 countries that participated in that effort of bringing to fore what Asian values have to give today to the present day civilization. And it was very well taken. I believe that is a role that we, as we develop our technical abilities, as we develop our industrial abilities, economic powers, defense abilities, that we should not forget. That we as a nation has captivated the world with our values and with our value-based living. I believe the soft power that was talked about has much to do with those. Here at Don Bosco University, I'm proud to say that we concentrate on building dependable human beings who are also very devoted and very patriotic citizens of our country. And I think in doing so, we bring to the fore this value that we stand for. In these recent years, when this pandemic has caught grip of the world, what colonization, what industrialization, what slavery, climate change, religious fundamentalism, political ideologies, and ravages of war have not achieved, this pandemic has achieved. It has made us all realize, as our eminent poet of Assam, Bhupen Hazarika, has said, we are in the same boat, brothers. And it is there that we as a country can contribute a lot. We have been known for our resilience, for our self-reliance. We proudly applaud ourselves for that. And because of that, we have a standing in the world unlike most other countries. We also have a degree of acceptance in the world as players who can be trusted. I'm glad that the Rethink India group has been organizing a series of get-togethers and forums in which all types of issues are being discussed. And I believe this think tank is doing immense service to our country as a whole. Thank you for getting me on this forum today.
It's 17 hours.
That you thought of me and of Northeast India. I'm grateful to you also for bringing together such a wide group of people with a vast repertoire of experience in various fields to talk about issues that matter to our country and to the world. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot, sir. It was our distinctive pleasure and privilege to have felicitated you over there. Moving forward, we have now a galaxy of academic researchers who are really the backbone of Atmanirbharta. They are the ones from pure academia and end users over there. They are the ones who translate inventions and innovations to industry-ready products over there. So we would like to felicitate Dr. Anil Kumar Sinha, who is a very distinguished scientist from the tribe of CSIR, I would say Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And we would like to bestow this honor, this Manohar Parrikar Prashasti, on his good self for his committed role in translating laboratory scale, unique patented inventions to industry-ready technology, especially on the frontiers of biofuels, because fuel independence, energy security is something which is again a matter of defense and strategic affairs immensely. So Dr. Anil Kumar Sinha has been nominated from the highest quarters of CSIR, from the DG office, and his stellar role in being a transforming agent from laboratory inventions to industry-ready technologies, which our country needs so very much, and which our other speakers have talked about it. So I would request Dr. Sinha to come and accept this token tribute and enlighten this forum for a few minutes, and we will take it forward. Dr. Sinha.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to get this felicitation in this August gathering on defense and strategic sector. And at CSIR, I have been specifically, and our team as well as entire CSIR has been working closely with defense sector. In fact, this biofuels we produced was for Indian Air Force, and we continue to supply to Indian Air Force the biofuel, and to see that all the aircrafts of Indian Air Force become airworthy to use the biofuels. And with that, also even for the defense sector, we have been working on the fuels for missiles, for like BrahMos, to make them more strategically, they can go more forward beyond, so that our strength in terms of defending our borders becomes stronger. So we continuously continue to strive in that sector. And it is a privilege, and we get encouraged to be here, and we continue to strive for making in India kind of technologies to serve our country. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sinha. It was really a distinctive privilege, because that's how in these laboratories we make our soldiers war worthy. That's what we give them, the most advanced support system over there. So thank you, Dr. Sinha. We move on. We would also like to felicitate Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh. So while biofuels are the fuels for the future, but then the conventional fuels, there's still the power sector, the power economy of the country is still coal-based. So Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh from Dhanbad, CSIR, for his lifelong contributions to the field of coal science, which still remains the key frontiers of power in India. We cannot ignore the conventional power until or unless we graduate to the new source of energies. So Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh's contribution for the last so many years, and to really help our coal science really powerful over there. I will request Dr. Singh to come over and accept this token tribute from this August forum and speak a few moments.
Good evening, all of you, sirs. It is really great opportunity for me to be part of this forum today. And in fact, Swami Vivekananda and Manohar Parrikar Sahab have been ideal for me for many years. Parrikar Sahab ke death ke 3-4 साल पहले से I was very fan as a politician to him. और in fact आज की डेट में हमको सभी मिनिस्टर उनके जैसा मेंटालिटी हो जाए तो इंडिया को आप चाइना जापान से कंपटीशन के लिए हमको दिक्कत नहीं होगी. I have visited several countries and what I found, what India is lacking, जैसे डिफेंस में आप लोग बोले हैं कि हमको ये चीज करना है, बहुत चीज प्रॉमिस होती है, still we are dependent on others. But still in coal science what we are doing globally हम लोग किसी से कम नहीं है, किसी भी कंट्री से, चाहे चाइना, चाहे अमेरिका, चाहे यूरोप हो. बट हमको है कि डिफेंस में हमारे पास पता नहीं क्यों डिपेंडेंसी में अभी भी कोई कमी नहीं आ रही. स्टिल वी हैव टू सी टुवर्ड्स अदर्स कि हमको ये दे दो, ये दे दो. क्या पता अभी हम लोग साल भर इतना खेती किया, पता एक मिसाइल और एक उनको उन्होंने कोई बड़े से स्ट्रेटेजिक वेपन से उतनी कमाई हम इंडिया से कर ले रहा दूसरा कंट्री. तो दैट इज वेरी स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसीजन फ्रॉम द टू बी डन बाय मिनिस्ट्री, जिसमें हम लोग ज्यादा नहीं बोलेंगे सर. बट हमारा जो स्कोप है, वी आर स्ट्राइविंग वेरी हार्ड टू जनरेट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्रॉम इंडिया इटसेल्फ, व्हाटएवर कोल वी आर हैविंग फॉर अराउंड 5 years. SR के तरफ से हमने जो काम किया है, डिपेंडेंसी ऑन इंपोर्टेड कोल हैज मिनिमाइज्ड. इसलिए हम चाहेंगे कि डिपेंडेंसी ऑन स्ट्रेटेजिक वेपन्स जो फॉरेन से आते हैं या उनके पार्ट्स आते हैं या अदर एडवाइज आती हैं, हमको इंडिया में टैलेंट कहाँ नहीं है, हमारे टैलेंट को रोक करके भारत सरकार के लोग जो हैं उसको अपने इंडिया में फैसिलिटी दें, पूरा डेवलप करें. अभी तो कोरोना में करके दिखा दिया इंडिया ने. इंडिया में कोरोना हमने क्या नहीं करके दिखा दिया. हमारे साइंटिस्ट जो है बहुत से अभी आके बैठे हुए हैं, उनको अच्छी जगह बैठा दिया जाए तो तभी अच्छे से डेवलपमेंट होगा. वही मनोहर पर्रिकर साहब के लिए अच्छी श्रद्धांजलि होगी. थैंक यू सर. ज्यादा नहीं बोलना क्योंकि बहुत से स्पीकर हैं.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So we have
Raghav,
got
sir.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I mean, before proceeding further, can we call once again Commodore Ranjit Rai, sir?
Yeah, sure. We should, or probably we are just some 3-4 more, and then maybe he gives his presidential address. So probably that's for a reason. We will just finish off, and sir would sum it up, because that's the biggest honor to him. And
yes,
the most senior most person over there. So we have got a trinity of researchers, very unique researchers, and the director of NIT Karnataka Surathkal, based out of Mangalore. So they nominated these 3, I would say, mesmerizing researchers who have a very phenomenal vistas of their research and translating research into industrialization. So first and foremost, we would like to honor Dr. Subrai Hegde for his pioneering work in setting up an institutional consultancy which works with local corporations for solving industrial problems. So this has been done quite very early, around 2013-14. Dr. Hegde has set it across, and this is the kind of support, hand-holding they are providing to the local Mangalore-based industrial institutions, some CIRIC, whatever we call it. So we would like to invite Dr. Hegde and pay this tribute to him. And he has been nominated by Professor K. Uma Maheshwar Rao, the Honorable Director of NIT Karnataka Surathkal. So I will request Dr. Hegde to come in and accept this token appreciation. If someone has joined in from NIT Karnataka, maybe the director sir or the Dean Research, they are also most welcome to say a few words about Dr. Hegde before Dr. Hegde speaks up. Yeah. So maybe Dr. Hegde, you can please come over. Yeah.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah. Loud and clear, sir. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank this Rethink India Forum for inviting me and honoring me. And I would like to thank our director as well as NIT administration for recognizing my work and nominating me along with my colleagues for this auspicious honor. Thank you so much. And regarding my connection with our ex-defense minister is that Mr. Parrikar was also a metallurgist, an eminent alumni from IT Bombay, and I happened to speak to him, and I was privileged enough to see him and then listen to his words when we attended a conference in Birla Institute of Technology Goa campus when we had a conference on materials organized by Indian Institute of Metals on the Metallurgist Day, and that's the only connection I have with him, apart from him being a finest gentleman in the political circle. Okay, regarding my work, my PhD is in aerospace materials. I'm a metallurgist, and I happen to work with developing a single crystal superalloys for jet engine components, and that has a direct connection with the aviation as well as defense sector. That happened in Canada, where many people and eminent researchers from India happened to work together in the National Research Council. In fact, that's when the Kaveri engine was tested in National Research Council of Canada in the Institute of Aerospace Research. Many eminent scientists of Indian origin happened to bring it to the National Research Council. I was there, and along with that, a couple of projects I was involved with after my PhD, when I was working with a private company called Life Prediction Technologies. That is on the life prediction of the marine variant of Kaveri engine. That is one project I was associated with. And the second one is for the Indian Air Force. The afterburners of the Sukhoi jets had an issue. The exact life of the afterburners, thermal coatings, were not known. And the company was awarded this project, for which we ended up doing some simulation work, and the experimental verification was done at the Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory. These two, occasions where I worked with the defense in India, but that too from outside. So I returned to India in 2013, and almost immediately I figured out that my expertise would be of some use to the local industry. And immediately after that, there was a concept of Atmanirbharata, and then Make in India thing came up. But then I had this idea that I should work with the local industries to solve the technical problems of the local industries, and I am quite successful there, and very proud that the institute has given me full support and to indulge myself with this activity, and it has been quite successful. So many machineries, high-end machineries and equipments established, were brought from abroad, and then after 20-25 years of service, they need to be protected, and then they need to be operated. So that's when I had an opportunity to work with the local industries, and because these machineries, the failure of these machineries and the fracture or any other issues with the machineries needed to be serviced by their original equipment manufacturers or establishers from Japan or from Europe or North America, and it would have been really expensive to bring it, and the immediate service would have not been possible. But then the local organizations like Mangalore Refineries and Petrochemicals, National and the Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers, and also Konkan Railway Limited, they believe that a university professor can help and not only understand the problem and also help. So that confidence, gave me enough support to help them, and that's how I ended up being a consultant with the local industries. So with respect to Atmanirbharata, I played a little bit role, and I'm very proud and happy about it. Thank you for this honor.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Hegde. It's really quite a distinctive honor to really felicitate you from this August Forum. We have got Commodore Ranjit Rai, and he would be giving his presidential closure address, and that's where we can see him on the camera now. So that's how technology comes and creates its spectacle. So we have yet another technologist from NIT Karnataka, Suratkal, Dr. Swami Mandal. And in his long recommendation note, what we picked up, he is being recognized for furthering the frontiers of advanced research across a triad of very advanced disciplines, solution process, thin film devices, multifunctional oxide coatings, and marine bioceramics. So this is what the technological domain is all about. Very complex, thousands and thousands of parts do make up our defense equipment, but then years and years of research goes into developing minute variants of it all, and it's because of researchers, dedicated researchers like Dr. Mandal, this is possible. आत्मनिर्भरता का पहला कदम इन्हीं के शोध से और इन्हीं के विकास से होता है. So I will request Dr. Somin Mandal to accept this humble tribute and address this forum briefly. Yeah.
Okay,
Dr.
so,
Mandal.
yeah. Good evening to all of you. So first of all, I would like to thank the Rethink India for giving me this honor in the August gathering of this defense, for the Defense and the Strategic Affair Forum 2021, and it's actually, I mean, it's great opportunity for me to be here. And with that, actually, I listen very carefully to these all eminent personalities in this defense strategic affair, and this is actually really, I mean, great thing to be here. And also that, as means at the beginning, that this our organizer host told about that Swami Vivekananda. So I'm actually big follower of Swami Vivekananda, and also that actually big admirer of late Manohar Parrikar. So because he is also a IITians and actually great, I mean, academician. Also this, I mean, our great defense minister he was. So actually, I mean, this, I mean, also that in future that my research actually, of course, that I will try to bring in this direction of like actually defense, because that we need to actually, I totally feel that in India, that in defense, means particular our research, actually we need to, we have that independency, and this I think we can do it. And this is whatever our honorable prime minister, his vision is that Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that is actually is only possible with our strategic research. So my research actually on thin film technology, so that is actually very much related to this, some of the defense affair, like actually anti-fouling coating on steel substrate for these marine applications, like marine submarines and other applications. So that is very much connected, because that anti-fouling is very much important and very much desired. So we are actually working closely with this one, and that's why actually, I mean, it's a great learning for me also, that how to contribute in this in future, and how to contribute to the my country for Atmanirbhar Bharat. And also that I would like to thank to my honorable director from my institute to bring me here. So this is actually, I would like to thank to him also. And also this, with this actually, I would like to conclude. I think all are, it's continuing for a longer time, so I mean, I just wrap up here itself. Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Mandal. It was really a pleasure. We have yet another researcher, yet another academic, but he has a very distinctive aspect, which is probably required. One of our other speakers said, we need to know what we know. I think it was Group Captain Banerjee who said about it. So we would like to felicitate him specifically for being institutional policy, property rights policy, and the testing and consulting policy at NIT Karnataka, which has helped NIT Karnataka to earn good amount of revenue from these services per se. Sir has already transferred the technology of ready-to-cook, non-accurate edible adroids. That's other part of it all. But translating the academic invention, what the CSIR scientists was doing, like biofuel, jet fuels over there. So he's translated the latent power, the latent energy of the juggernaut institution of NIT Karnataka to engage with the larger industry and transform it further. So we would like to felicitate Dr. Prasanna Belur D. And since a day of Swami Vivekananda, then Belur comes so very naturally to us, Belur Mutt. So Dr. Prasanna, we would request you to accept this humble tribute from this August forum, and please address and talk a bit about this policy juggernaut, what instigated you and what is so special about it, and how it can be further expanded across the premier institutions of the country and the others over there. Dr. Beludi.
Yeah, good evening, one and all. It's a very pleasant surprise for having this opportunity to to be part of this particular ceremony. And in fact, I was not prepared for a acceptance speech. I was just thought I'll be a part of this particular ceremony. But in any case, while I was sitting through this particular proceedings, I could hear to lot many luminaries who are describing about the multifaceted challenges of India and how India should prepare for to make itself strong, and how it need to work. So while listening to all these talk, one thing which came to my mind is basically, as per our ancient scriptures, we are in the era called Kali Yuga, and as per our ancient scriptures, the one thing which is going to prevail in this Kali Yuga is Balasya Prithvi. Balasya Prithvi. That means, as you are, if you are strong enough, you can rule the earth. That's what it says. So, we have a solution already given in our ancient scriptures. So what we need to do is, it's very simple. We need to strengthen our defense. We need to strengthen our armed forces. We need to strengthen our economy. We need to strengthen our manpower. So, NITK, National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, Surathkal, is working in a sphere of education. And in NITK Surathkal, we are striving hard to give a quality education, preparing the manpower for the future. And basically, we are trying to empower our students to innovate and develop technologies and use the technologies for the benefit of mankind. So in that context, not only this, the faculty members of NITK Surathkal is also working very hard in developing various technologies and working in the areas of allied sciences. And the faculty are working, and developing so many technologies, but we didn't had a policy how these technologies can be patented and how these technology can be transferred to the industry and how these technologies can be monetized. So in that context, basically, I have done my a little bit. Okay, in this context, in 2013, I have undergone a prestigious, a training in University of Wisconsin Medicine through a fellowship by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, called Corona Technology Transfer Course. And that's where I came in, basically came in contact with several luminaries, and also I came across how the technology can be patented, how this technology can be licensed, and how technology transfer could be done. And as soon as I came back, we started our work in NITK Surathkal, and we thought that we need to have a clear-cut policy so that every faculty member can file a patent, and can basically patent his technology, and also institute can monetize this particular technology. And in the year 2015, our Honorable Board of Governors accepted our policy. And since 2015, we have filed more than 65 patent applications. Already we have received around 10 applications, 10 patents. And maybe in another year, we are going to get another 15 to 20 patents. And already we have transferred one technology to a industry. And hopefully, within another, say, 2-3 years, we are going to monetize several technologies. Basically, NITK in principle is not interested in making money. Basically, we are more interested in transferring technology to the industry so that it reaches the masses, it reaches the general public, and also, our nation is benefited. So in a small way, we are contributing for a Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are contributing for a stronger India. And at this juncture, I would like to thank my beloved director and administration of NITK Surathkal for giving all the possible support to me. And also, I would like to thank Rethink India for selecting me for this award. And I would like to accept this particular award with all the humility. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Prasanna. And it really gave us that how laborious, how tedious, how arduous the entire process of intellectual property. One is the technological creation, then protection. So it's quite a compact which is required to really create a defense and strategic affairs bulwark, what we call, which India aspires to be. And last but not least, we have seen Uri picture. हमने देखी कि those night vision goggles, those fatigues, those camouflage and all. So that's the Bollywood version of it. But yes, there are corporations in India which are manufacturing it, which have really set up in-house research, development and manufacturing processes, which keeps on developing and manufacturing advanced camouflage and stealth solutions, thereby adding to the Raksha Atmanirbharta of Bharat, along with enhancing the strategic capabilities of our armed forces by speedily customizing their emerging needs in an evolving ecosystem of defense. We would like to felicitate the hyper stealth technologies for their lovely Atmanirbhar defense initiatives out here, with the Honorable Manohar Parrikar Prashasti for propelling the frontiers of global power India. So I request hyper stealth
the MD Manish Dalmia.
Yes, to please accept this token tribute and just address the audience, this forum.
So there, just
yeah, you have to unmute yourself, sir. You have to unmute.
I thank you, Defense and Strategic Affairs, for inviting me to such a prestigious forum and to showcase what we are doing under Atmanirbhar Bharat among all the stalwarts of industry leaders and service people in this forum. Actually, we are a defense startup company and we have been awarded by Honorable Defense Minister for our stealth and camouflage technology. We are working on signature management. Basically, we have all range of stealth and camouflage products like multi-spectral camouflage nets, sniper suits, anti-thermal coatings for tanks, radar absorbing material for fighter jet aircrafts. And it's all IDDM, Indian design, developed and manufactured. It is lab proven and field proven. In fact, it is pertinent to mention here that our sniper suits were tested for 6 months at China-India face-off, where our snipers could not be detected at 300 meters by wearing our suits. In fact, they were very close to our adversaries, but still they were not detected. This is one of the examples. We had done some trials at military Hisar command at Hisar, where our tanks could not be detected at 200 meters by putting camouflage nets. We have just won the IDEX challenge also, open challenge, and we are being granted approximately 1.5 crores from the Indian MOD and Ministry of Defense, just to showing that how strong Atmanirbhar Bharat is going in India. In the present, our Honorable Prime Minister, it's his dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we are doing all as a small contribution towards it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot, sir, for such a mesmerizing piece, such an advanced technology, what you are, and it is all designed, developed, and manufactured in India. Quite a moment of pride. We just come to the last recipient of this entire galaxy, and then we will come to the Commodore Ranjit Rai over there. We would like to felicitate Dr. Arvind Agrawal, who has been the core inspiration behind this Defense Strategic Affairs Forum, and also for his personal passion and mission to make defense and strategic affairs an integral component of techno-managerial education for its due transformation. So there is a lot of talk about getting the techno-managerial education employable. So Dr. Agrawal has one distinctive mission at his this frontiers, as we said earlier as well, that all the science and technology, it converges somewhere or the other into defense and space applications. So if somehow the other this managerial institutions, it can be given a kind of a hand-holding, a kind of a opening somewhere, at least the students can be trained or they can be oriented towards that. Speakers have talked about it. Me of 133 crore people, like it's a larger audience, they will be really understanding the deeper implications of Atmanirbharta, deeper implications of designing a particular platform, and they will get a challenge somewhere. Like the MHRD had started the innovation challenge. So probably some of the non-critical areas of defense research can be really extended further to the other secondary or tertiary colleges, and the larger technological group can really get for it. So we really want to felicitate Dr. Arvind Agrawal. He could not, or some, we felicitate him in his absentia. And last but not least, let's move. And this is the quote what he has been circulated, that defense and strategic affairs has the power to transform India's techno-managerial education by leaps, as it posits a unique mix of techno-managerial challenges to rise up to, translates the intrinsic feeling of patriotism to something actionable, and most importantly, catapults the entire national value chain to the formidable frontiers of Atmanirbharta. So this is what was at Rethink India. And, we really got it. So now, last but not least, we would like to felicitate Commodore Naval and Intelligence Operations and his closing address at this distinctive voice of positioning India as more of a naval nation. So we are a maritime nation, we are a naval nation. That is what Commodore Rai very strongly posits, very strongly puts forward. So let's hear from the most senior-most person, sir. And with that, we will conclude Defense and Strategic Affairs Forum 2021 after Ranjit Rai, sir. Sir.
Sir, you have to unmute, sir. Sir, unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm absolutely humbled at the amount of work that you have done, Dr. Vash, your team, Prabhat Ghosh, to have got this liveries on your screen today for so many people to see. It is very interesting to me as somebody who has watched for many, many years, the public sector taking all the credit for the defense. Of course, they did a job under the circumstances, but you have brought alive how many people now are contributing. So I'll be very brief to say, look at Kalyani, how much they spend on their R&D, and now the fruits are coming to Kalyani. Look at Larsen and Toubro. Their shares went up and down with shipbuilding, but they delivered ships at losses to Coast Guard and before time. And then coal technology, India is heading forward. So I think what you're doing today is actually rethink Atmanirbhar. I congratulate you, not because I wish to praise you, but because I want to see at my age, India's service sector is rising at 55% of our economy. If we can sort out this agricultural problem, maybe we will be a little better off, and I'm sure it will solve itself. We are in the defense sector. If there is less secrecy, the Official Secrets Act, companies have begun to export. We are making send receive switches in Hyderabad. The INS Ariant, we cannot talk about how it was built, but it's Atmanirbhar, a design taken a nuclear submarine. I know the Vikrant has taken a lot of time, but some of you on the screen have contributed to the Vikrant. 40,000 suppliers, 23,000 tons of steel. And in COVID, she could not go out for trials. But the Indian Navy and DRDO and the Cochin Shipyard took her out. So without much ado, I want to say I have learned a lot. It has told me that India is on a new chapter. Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, Taliban is going to give trouble to Pakistan. Yes, China. But if India can get together, there is power in our government. Prime Minister Modi has shown the way. It is unfortunate we lost Shri Parrikar. I first met him in the Kota House lawns. What an approachable man. He wanted to learn the defense procurement procedure. When we gave him the presentation, he said it's so complex. I'm from IIT. I'm finding it very complex. In IIT, he had complex things. Sadly, we lost him, but he contributed a lot to open the defense sector. So I wish to congratulate you, and I wish to congratulate all the people who stood by you for this long session, and more, congratulate the people who you awarded after selecting. It must have been a tough job, but Jai Hind, Atmanirbhar, and let's pray that the future of India is in safe hands of all these technologists, the young students, and the young of India.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot, sir. It was really terrific. And I would request Dr. Surbi, the president at Rethink India Foundation, who really put so much of effort in coordinating with everyone, with Prabhat sir, to really get together this forum today to just give the vote of thanks and the concluding address. And
it's really a good fortune and privilege on behalf of Rethink India and Strategic Affairs India to witness such a historic congregation of such luminaries from across the defense and strategic affairs of India. And we as a nationalist think tank, and with all our patriotic fervor, salute the real heroes and the lifetime, achievements made by them. This forum is just an ode to all the contributions. Thank you so much for making to the forum, making it here, all the researchers, all the academicians, ambassadors, the defense personnel, Prabhat sir, thank you everyone, and Jai Hind.
So we'll take your permission to conclude this historic 9/11. So as Sangeeta ma'am said, that we should remember 9/11 more for the positives of it, because this is what the Indic thought is all about. Remember it for the 9/11 1893, and in 2021 take a leap of faith. And as Dr. Mavli said, our values and our value-based education. कुछ बात है ऐसी जो हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी कम वॉट में, whatever the challenges what we have. तो एक सामूहिक रूप से आज जो ये एक पूरा जो लोग जुड़े हैं अलग अलग विधाओं से, and Rethink India commits itself further to carry on this journey. So with all your permission, we will close the session today. And ये यज्ञ ज्ञान यज्ञ अनवरत जारी रहेगा, विश्राम लेता है. We'll close today's session over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
नमस्कार सभी लोग को, नमस्कार.
सबको नमस्कार.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhat-ji. And Raghav-ji, very well conducted.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely
Thank you.
session. Very breathtaking. I remain glued to the
Also,
whole
a big
session.
round of applause for all the awardees.
Yeah.
Well done, well organized. Congratulations.
Well organized.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Thank you.
Nice program.